Easy people, welcome back to my channel and my show. We are the South Stand. We are the South Stand. We are the South Stand. Episode 7. Great to have my good friend Imran on today. Imran's a big Man City fan, season ticket holder, home and away. He was in Madrid with the boys, went to Wolves. Welcome on the show, Imran. You okay?
Yeah, I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me on, and just look, it'd be good to just discuss some of the points that we'll talk about today. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen, we've got a lot to talk about, to be fair, because I haven't done the show for a while. But the first thing I want to talk about is Erling Haaland, man. Erling Haaland signs for Manchester City. Just tell me. I mean, I'm gassed about it. I'm over the moon with it. But just tell me what's your thoughts with it? You just can't wait for next season now?
In a way, yeah. If we look at trends throughout the season, and we've been playing brilliantly throughout the season and dominating games. We're scoring loads of goals, and goals haven't been such a big problem. But if you look at it compared to the previous seasons where Aguero was around, we were more clinical. So it's that clinical, that bit of the element of the match that we sort of missing. A player that can just pull out goals out of nowhere. Ones you don't expect the player to score, and just pulls it out. So that's the type of thing I'm looking for. But also, like games this season, we've it's the same games where we've dropped points. So Southampton twice, Palace twice, and those games, it was a recurring trend. We weren't finishing our chances. We just
How many times, this season, Imran, I've somebody put a ball across a box and we've looked at each other and gone, fucking hell, if we had a striker there, he'd have put that in, you know what I mean? This is what I'm looking at. And Kevin De Bruyne, I think this season suffered a little bit early on because he was making them runs with the ball and he's getting his head up early and he's looking for that ball like he used to play into like Leroy. But he's had to mould his game now. There's nobody there. So literally he's just taking it himself, taking them extra few strides and pinging it. So, I mean, Kevin De Bruyne next year must be licking his lips, and Haaland must be licking his lips thinking, I've got KDB whipping them in. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, that link up there, man.
Yeah. And you go back to the basics that he's been doing for the last few seasons, and that's assisting. Because you've noticed his assists have dropped massively. And it's not that he's not creating those chances. Those chances are being created. They're just not being finished. How many times have you seen in the past few games, there's another De Bruyne assist. That's not happened. There's another one that's not happened. So yeah, he can start doing a bit more of that, and those players finishing off those chances.
I was typical Man City, Imran. I went to the store today to get the kit for the kids, and there's hundreds of people there. Yeah, coach loads of tourists and all sorts getting off. I think there's like an amputee games or something. So there was all there, Poland, Slovakia, and that. They're all in the shop buying the gear. And every single one of them wanted Haaland on the shirt, and City couldn't sell him Haaland on the shirt because they don't know what number he's going to be. Now, that's just a Man City thing all over that. We sign one of the best strikers in the world. We release a kit. We've got an opportunity to sell Haaland merchandise like mad, and we haven't got it sorted out, man. Is there anything more Man City than that, man?
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? Look, that demand's not going to drop, is it?
No.
People are going to buy stuff now. I bet a lot of them decided, I'm not going to put any lettering or numberings on there, and I'll use the summer to do that. But I think that demand will remain, and I think not only demand for that, but also demand for attending games. There'll be all sorts of demands when you've got players like that, and just the amount of people that want to see Haaland in the flesh, making those runs, taking those shots. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be brilliant, man. So we're speaking on signings. We've got Erling through the door. He's one of the biggest signings in the club's history, and we know what to expect from him. We've got Alvarez in, who's slightly gone under the radar, but South American Player of the Year, scoring goals for fun. So we're excited about him. And then two names these last couple of days have come out of the hat, and the betting's gone right down on him. One is Calvin Phillips, who we know well from England and Leeds, and obviously with Fernandinho leaving, he looks like he could be a replacement. And then Cucurella coming from Brighton, that's come out of left field. He's had a great season. He's a decent, proper old-fashioned left back. He's Spanish. He's Catalonian. Doesn't look like he's going to cost us the earth. What's your thoughts on Calvin Phillips and Cucurella? Do you think them two are great signings for City, and do you think we'll sign them?
Yeah, I think. Look, when we think about these type of players, and usually the type of players we look for are probably the ones right at the top of the chain when it comes to midfield battles or left back battles. And I think when it comes to these type of players, we don't look at English players to start off with, and we want to find these fancy players. But when you're talking about the work that Calvin Phillips does and filling in for Fernandinho, I think that's going to be huge. That's going to be a huge positive for City if you get someone like him. He is one of them players as well that if you notice that this season, Leeds without him made a massive difference. They're fighting for relegation at the moment. So yeah, I think he's going to be a great signing if he was to come here. He'll fill in the Fernandinho role, but also he'll add something different that Rodri isn't. And not only that, I think possibly both of them complement each other in some games where they can both play together. So yeah, I think there's endless possibilities with these type of players. So,
yeah, Phillips is highly regarded at Leeds. You know what I mean? He's one of their own. They love him. They don't want to let him go. I spoke to a Leeds fan before, Joe, who's a big Leeds fan. Big up, Joe. And he was saying basically like he would be happy him to go to City. I watched Phillips before the Euros. I wasn't a big Calvin Phillips fan. I thought the English tax was too high. I thought he's a typical English player who's overhyped. But when he played in the Euros with Declan Rice, he really, really surprised me. And I thought, you know what? He's not a bad player. And I think if Pep Guardiola can get hold of him, he can come into this City team where he's not the number one. He's going to probably be the understudy to Rodri because Rodri's had a fantastic season. And I think if he's training with this caliber of player every single day and Pep Guardiola can get it into him and he can literally get his head round the City way, I think he'd be a fantastic signing for me. And I just think he's perfect to fulfill that Fernandinho role, because they're talking 150 million Imran for Declan Rice, and as the chat says there, David, 25 mil release clause if they're relegated. That's a snip, man. That is a snip. That's worse than 54 million for Erling Haaland.
True, but I think we shouldn't let any value of any player really put us off. But yeah, we're talking about Declan Rice, 150 million and stuff, but look, we believe in our owners. We believe in Khaldoon. We believe in Ferran and Cheeky. All these guys, they know exactly what they're doing. They would have crunched the numbers to start off with. So I know a lot of people keep saying that, it's going to cost us a whole load of money. 150 million, is it worth it? Those are the guys that know whether it's worth it or not.
Yeah, and the other signing is Cucurella. I mean, I've always liked him. I think he's full of energy. He's non-stop. He's like a terrier, and he's totally different to the fullbacks we've got now. Obviously, Zinchenko was a midfielder. Cancelo was predominantly a right back, and I think it'd be absolutely brilliant to get an out-and-out left back, somebody that's Pep can trust. He's obviously proper took to the Premier League. He's looked like he's been playing here for years. And another one, they're talking 35, maybe 40 million. At the end of the day, if we can get them two signings in for me, as well as Erling and Alvarez, I think that is unbelievable business, because we're on the verge of winning a league, which we'll talk about further down the line. We don't need a major overhaul, but if we're losing Fernandinho, we do need to replace him. Obviously, Benjamin Mendy's not going to come anywhere near us again. We need a left back. And like you say, the attack has been strengthened. Unreal. But Cucurella, I mean, he's probably come out of the field.
Yeah, he has depth.
Yeah, of course. Do you think, I know it's like hindsight, but do you think coming towards the end of this season now, when we've been to games, me and you, and we've been patched up, City have been patched up, and we've been worried a bit. Do you think if these players come in it is for depth, because we don't want to make the same mistake. I think if we could have a stronger squad going into the semi-final on the back of an Atletico game, I think we could have won that semi-final.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. There's only, I think the counter argument to that would be, I think I've probably seen Cancelo's best performances on the left-hand side rather than the right. Yeah. I don't know if you agree with that, but and I probably would like to see more of that. And we probably would see more of that, because obviously we got Walker on the right. We will play a lot of games with Cancelo on the left, but then that means we've got two backup players. We've got the new guy Cucurella, and also Zinchenko. So I don't know how that works out. I don't know how the dynamics work out for having these extra players there. Then
I think the problem you're going to get with some players, they don't want to be backup. I think these players have got to have the spirit to go, you know what? I might be back up for the first 3 or 4 months, but as soon as I get my chance, I'm going to prove to this Man City team that I'm not back up. And I think that's what players have got. If they've got that mentality to come in and fight for the place, I think Pep will sign them. I think there's a lot of players that won't be back up. It's like Erling Haaland now at City. He's going to be the main man. To talk about Jesus going, I don't want to see Jesus go. I love him. But at the end of the day, he's not going to play. He's not going to get in ahead of Erling Haaland. If Erling Haaland's fit, other than tactical reasons, he ain't playing. So, get good money for him, let him go. But moving on from the players coming in, we know Fernandinho's leaving. There's been talk of Gundogan leaving. Anyone else going to leave for you? One of the strikers got to go, surely.
Yeah, I think the rumours were quite heavy on Gabi, weren't it? And it was just this afternoon I saw a report saying, and I think this was on The Athletic, that they were saying that it doesn't look like Arsenal would be interested at the price that City have come through with, and I think it was something like $60 odd $million. I don't know why it's in dollars anyway, but so obviously I don't know if they're just making these comments to sort of get the price down a bit. Obviously, the other news was that Gabi's already agreed personal terms, but I'm not sure how true that is. But he seems like the guy that's most likely to go based on some of the rumors. But I say we could potentially keep him and let Sterling go this season. I think he's lost that spark.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something that Pep's requiring from him. Look, he's not making runs now. Pep's still playing him now. Does that mean it's coming from Pep to say, look, you need to get involved in a lot more passing in the game, less of the running and running with the ball, and more probably running off the ball and getting into spaces? And to be honest, it probably would have worked if he was finishing his chances. If that was the instruction for Pep and he was finishing the chances, then he would be doing exactly what Pep's asking from him, and he's doing his job. But I'm not sure what his instructions are. But the fact that Pep still plays him in a lot of games, which sort of tells me that he's listening to instructions.
Do you think Raheem suffers because we've got no striker as well? With a link-up play?
Probably, because I think a lot of these players expect Sterling to come into the box and as the main striker a lot of the time. Now, let's say Haaland's there and the big defenders are marking Haaland now. Sterling makes his moves, gets into those positions. He's going to get into more positions to score. So possibly it could be a reason. I mean, he was doing it with.
What struck me, Imran, with him, I love Raheem Sterling. I think he's been great for Man City. He's fantastic. But his body language doesn't seem to be the same. We've seen him score a few goals, important goals in the title race, and he just seems to be strolling about. Now, listen, I'm not going to tell anyone, but you want to see a bit of something about someone, you know what I mean? If he doesn't look happy, then, I think we're in a fantastic position. I think we've got Cole Palmer coming through. We've got Mcfc coming through. We've got Alvarez coming through who can play wide. I think Raheem Sterling, if we could get top money for him now, I think that would be an option. And I could see him going. Possibly,
yeah. I agree. It just also depends on the clubs that are after him, I guess. If the clubs that are after him are, they're probably a team that's out of the top 6, or possibly a team that just about gets into the top 6, would he be interested? Would he be interested in that drop down, possibly not playing Champions League football? But
I've got Arsenal in the head. For some reason, I've had Arsenal in my head for a long time with Sterling. I just think he fits Arsenal. I think he goes there, be the main man. Do you know what I mean? Get a lot of game time, score a lot of goals. He's a London boy, get his family back in London. I think that could be the move for him. You know what I mean? He's been in an awful long time, Liverpool and City. He's won a lot of trophies at Man City. It might be the time for him to just be comfortable where he's comfortable. You know what I mean? You look at Cole Palmer and that coming through, this Alvarez kid coming through. It's looking a lot congested out wide. You've got Foden, Grealish, Mahrez, Alvarez, Cole Palmer, Sterling. So Bernardo can play there. So you're looking at City's wide areas and they're congested. You know what I mean? He's not played a lot of games this season. He has played him in big games. But, yeah, Raheem, for me, in my opinion, we could let him go. And I think with the players coming in, I'd be happy to spend that money elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I agree. The only thing I'd say is if I was an Arsenal fan right now, I'd be looking at that team and I'd be thinking, right, we've got a lot of players that create chances from, behind the main striker, but they still don't have that main striker, do they? And
could they play him though as striker? Could they play Sterling as striker? You know what I mean? Could he be the man instead of him playing wide? Could he be the main man?
Yeah, I mean they've had a lot of these type of players, haven't they? They've had Aubameyang, they've had Lacazette. These guys, yeah, they're goal scorers, but they're not the most clinical of goal scorers.
There's not a lot of strikers knocking about now. Decent quality strikers. When you look, you've got elite level strikers. Yeah, Kane, Haaland, Mbappe, Lewandowski, people like that. Then when you look at the next rung of players, like the ones coming up, like Vlahovic and that, they all went. And then underneath that, there ain't an awful lot knocking about where because if you go for someone like Ivan Toney and that, they're going to want the English tax on him. They're going to pay big money for him, and I don't know. It's peak, man. Anyway, I don't want to talk about Arsenal. I spend all my life talking about Arsenal on the Big Six and that. And that. So forget Arsenal, forget them. There's other news coming out of City today. John Stones, Kyle Walker on the training pitch. Got to be happy with that, man. We have got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I think so. We don't know how far they are into their training. It may just be really light exercises. Is it something that are they at a stage where they can actually play? Have some game time. I mean, that's a question to be asked. But yeah, it is a very, very positive bit of news, especially with that defense at the moment. I think if we can shore it up, have some of our main guys back, then yeah, I think we'll feel a lot more confident going into that final game.
Yeah, because to be honest, West Ham, City dominated the whole game, but every time West Ham broke on us, they looked like they were going to score. I mean, Fernandinho was trying his best. He was up against Mikel Antonio. Antonio was barging into him. He was pulling him down, Fernandinho, and that got away with a lot. Zinchenko was totally lost with Bowen getting in around the back of him. We don't need that. For me, we need Laporte and Stones at the back there. Do you know what I mean? We need Walker, Cancelo. We need to calm it all down and get this result. But I see Nathan Ake training as well. So we've got Ake. Listen, they're all better options than Fernand. Fernand is not a centre half. And against Danny Ings and Watkins, I don't want to see that.
These guys can definitely get behind our back four. So yeah, we definitely need to be really on it, and we need the defenders that are actually going to close these players down. So yeah, I agree. We do need a defensive pairing, and either of them, Aki or Stones, back in the starting 11 would be massive advantage for the final.
So on Sunday, we might as well touch on it a bit now. On Sunday, we know what's going to happen. We did fantastic to come back from 2-0 down half time at West Ham. I'm thinking we need a point. I'm thinking Tottenham game. We got back in the game. We carried on bombing forward. We got caught out. We got beat. We ended up with nothing. I'm thinking, West Ham, you've got yourselves back in the game at 2-2. Get this point. The point means everything. You know what I mean? We don't want to be relying on goal difference with Liverpool against Wolves at home, because if they roll over, we've seen it with Bristol the other week, they can score 7 or 8. So we get the job done. Jack Grealish had a great game for me. I thought he's coming into his own at the minute. Pep's got a headache Sunday. Let's assume Kyle Walker's fit and Stones is fit. What's your team? What's your team? And what's
if they are, then yeah, definitely. I think they both fit in. Walker, Stones, Laporte, and Zinchenko at the back. I think I'd definitely go with them for.
What about Cancelo at left back?
Cancelo definitely. Obviously
Zinchenko's been amazing, and I think with the only times he's looked ropey was when Fernandinho was there. But I think if Zinchenko's got Laporte there, then I think he's a different player. So I could go either or there. I don't know what the chat thinks, Zinchenko or Cancelo. You know, it is what it is. But
no, I think Cancelo. I think Cancelo. I had Cancelo down as right back, obviously. So I sort of when you said Walker, I completely forgot about Cancelo. But yeah, Cancelo left back. I think midfield, I'd go with KDB, Rodri, and Bernardo. And the front lineup, you know what? I'd be tempted to play Jesus, Foden, and Grealish up front.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, I think so. The only thing with Grealish is he plays that game. He's going to bring a lot of pressure to the game, just because of how the fans are probably going to react, to him collecting a ball. The away fans are going to be hostile as well. So I don't know if Pep decides to just keep it calm a little bit, get that early goal at the start, and then if needs be later on, Grealish comes on.
At West Ham, with him resting a few players, do you think there's a case for Sterling to start? Do you think he's going to keep with Jack because he's had a good couple of games? But usually when he likes to rotate it, I mean, I agree with your midfield. Rodri, Bernardo, KDB has got to be the three for me. But in a massive game like that, with Sterling the way he is, with chances and stuff like that, is he going to risk Sterling having a couple of easy chances and missing them and everyone getting on his case? Because everyone's going to be that hyped and that nervous. We need to be clinical, innit?
Yeah, definitely.
We need to be clinical.
Agree, and that's probably the reason I'd go with Gabby. And it's not because he's the most clinical player on the pitch, but he's coming off. He's probably the most informed finisher we've got at the moment, from the front three. So that's probably the only reason I'd say go with Gabby over Sterling. But you were right, all those points about Sterling, it will make things more tough and probably make us probably feel a bit more nervous throughout the game.
I'm thinking start Foden on the left, Foden on the left, Mahrez on the right, and Jesus up front. And I think that's one of our best sides. And I think we get the job done with that. And I think you keep on the bench Sterling, Grealish, you've got Gundogan, you've got Zinchenko. You've got a steady bench there that can change the game if you need to calm the game down or if you need to keep pushing it on. But, mate, I don't know about you, but I'm trying not to think about the game too early, because it starts to get you going and then you end up peaking too early and you end up getting tired with it, mate. Do you know what I mean? I watched the 93-20 documentary last night, and then after that on the City channel, and then after that I watched the Blackburn Rovers game when we got promoted with Joe Royal. And then, mate, by the end of it, I was ready to go to the stadium. I needed the game. I'd done too much, man. Yeah. I'd done too much. But
I agree.
It's a big one, mate. Imran, anyone told us beginning of the season, last game of the season, you beat Aston Villa at home, you're Premier League champions 4 times out of 5 for Pep. We've got to take that, man, surely.
I take it. You know what? As I said, this season's been intense, and there's a lot of ups and downs. We end up dropping points. We end up going on a run where we score, where we played quite a few games and won every one of them. And then we just when we think we're getting clear, and then all of a sudden, we've dropped points again. And it has been up and down. And you know what? Would I take this intensity? Would I take this nerves at the end of the season? Damn right I would. Hell yeah. And the reason I would is because it means that you're there, you're competing right to the end. Yeah. And you ask any of those any of the Liverpool players, or Liverpool fans about all the trophies they're playing at the moment, would they want that pressure? And they would. They'd rather have that pressure than not have it. And that's how it is. So we've had quite a few seasons of this, and I'll take that any day. And then at the final game of the season, Aston Villa, and if you said we can win it against them on the final game of the season, then I'd definitely snap your hand off.
What's been good with it? What's been good? Leonard there, Jackie's on form, question mark. Come on, Leonard, man. He's been watching the games, man. He's doing all right, man. But one good thing about it is we got these last 4 or 5 games. It's probably starting with Brighton. Brighton was on the back of a win against Arsenal, Tottenham, coming to the Etihad. You're a bit nervous. You're thinking Brighton, they got the tails up. We dealt with them. Then you've got Watford. We dealt with them, goal difference-wise, so we're happy with that. Then Newcastle comes to town. Everyone's like, you'll lose against Newcastle. They've got the tails up, which they did. We put them to bed. Wolves away for me was the one where we knew Wolves have got a good defence, and we know if they wanted to dig in, they're tough to break down. Kevin De Bruyne just steps up there, destroys them. We were at Wolves. We come out of that ground, unreal that night, bouncing. And then you've got West Ham, and you're like, yeah, this could be a potential banana skin. Every game, after the Madrid game, when we flew back from Madrid, we were there. We were dejected. We didn't know how the season was going to go. We were on our knees. The defence was crippled. But they've done well. The boys have done well. And they've got us to the final line. We've limped the last few steps, and we're right on the line now, ready to cross it. We've just got to get it done. And this is my plea for the Man City fans. I said it on my channel the other day. I said, look, we're Manchester City Football Club. It's the best football club in the world, right? Us as fans, we've been through the mill. We're on the verge of winning our title. Get to that stadium. Even if you're not going to the game and you can't get a ticket, get to that stadium. Feel the atmosphere in your bones. Feel it in your blood. Get to the coach, welcome him. You're all a part of it. If you're close to the Etihad, get to the Etihad and be a part of it. Even if it's for 5 minutes when they're coming in the ground, line them streets. Get to the boozer, get a few beers, get your City shirts on, get the kids in the City shirts, get your flags out your window. All the Man United neighbours that have give you shit for all them years, get your flags out. Paint your fence fucking blue. Do everything, because Manchester needs to be blue on Sunday. It needs to be blue. Get on the streets, get out there and enjoy it, man. And let's win this title together. Manchester as a whole, with a real people, man. Let's get this title in the bag, man. I'm so excited for it, me. Imran, I'm ready. I'm ready for the war cry, man. Get everybody in the kits, blue balloons, smoke bombs, whatever you can get. Let's have it on Sunday, innit?
Yep, and I agree. Let's have that positivity that you've got. Definitely, there's obviously a little bit of doubt in probably a lot of fans as well. Typical City and all that stuff. And
you know what I want to say though, Imran? Do you know what I say? Right. That little bit of doubt is in us. We know that, right? But remember this, yeah? We were on our ass against QPR. On the bones of our ass, yeah? The lowest of the low. Going to bottle the league for the first time in our history, yeah? But we didn't give up. And we came back and we won it with the last kick of the game. So no matter how nervous you get on Sunday, no matter if Aston Villa score first, no matter any of that, we've been there before this time, and we know it's not the time to give up. So all I'm saying is, when you're in that stadium, if you come into the stadium, you're having a beer, great. Don't get that pissed where you don't remember this game. You need to get in there, have a couple, get the vocal cords going, get in the ground, stand up and sing your hearts out for the boys. Even if the guy next to you's moaning, sit down. Listen, don't matter. We're here to cheer the boys on. Let's get these boys over the line, man. We've been there before. We won it with the last kick of the game. Let's get Aston Villa dealt with, man, and win this league.
Yeah. People talk about heritage and stuff like that. You know what? This is Premier League heritage now. And when it comes down to it, it comes down to the final third of the season. We're in a title race. You know what? These guys haven't given us a reason to doubt them, have they?
Look at this guy here, look. Steve, that was 10 years ago, though. The Madrid game has given me nightmares. What have we won in the last 10 years? Was it 15 trophies? How can you be having nightmares over one Real Madrid game when you've got the trophy cabinet's just gone boom, mate? Yeah. Come on, man. It's 10 years ago. Get it out of your system.
We had Brighton away from home, right? We had to win the league there. 1 point between us, and we did it there. So why not? Why not? I think we back our team.
No, it's great, mate. Pitch invasion as well. Listen, I'm not condoning the pitch invasion. I am really. Man City don't ban me. I don't want to condone that. But the pitch invasions are always good, man. They're good for the fans. I mean, we seen a ridiculous one last night and someone got assaulted bad at Forest. We're not like that, man. We're just happy to win the league, man. We're just happy to feel it. But what I'm saying is it's going to be nervous at times. We need to play our game. We need to set the level of intensity that high that Aston Villa are thinking, can't keep up with these boys. Stevie Gerrard's going to give him a talk. He's probably going to mention his slip. He's probably going to mention revenge and all that. But listen, I don't care. Stevie Gerrard ain't playing, mate. And at the end of the day, this City team this season has been bang on. And if we was to finish the season with nothing, we'd all be devastated. But I'm absolutely confident. I'm confident, mate. There's not a doubt in my mind that Sunday we get this job done, you know.
Yeah. Let's all have your positivity. And let's do this. We have to win it.
Someone there, there's a panda in a Dortmund shirt somewhere in the UK. Yeah, we know that. Daps is supposed to be joining us in a minute. But listen, people were asking me in the chat, what is Sanucci? Sanucci is a jewellery company, yeah? This is my plug in it. But I tell you what, it's bang on. Sanucci sent me some, Man City blingy chains, right? The link is in the description. You've got the new badge and you've also got the old badge, whether you like the old badge or not. And the bang on, mate. The bang on. And last week I did a promotion and a few people have bought them. Sanucci. I think it's buy one, get one free. The link is in the bio. But mate, check them out. Sanucci, man. Blingy. Daps is all over this. Big Steve's a bit old school, yeah. You know, this, I might wear it Sunday, but Daps is all over this. Daps has got this one. He's also got this one. He's got a giant diamond encrusted panda. You know what I mean? He's living the life with Sanucci, Daps. But anyway, check out Sanucci, man. Buy one, get one free below. That's my plug for Sanucci. Big up Sanucci. But yeah, man, Daps is supposed to be coming on soon. He's rushing up. But I want to speak about the kit launch today as well. I don't know if you've seen it, but the kit is obviously a tribute to Colin Bell. Now, Colin Bell, if people don't know, is one of the greatest ever, if not the greatest ever Man City player alive, Colin the King. They've made references to the shirt from the 80s, the 70s, the 60s and 70s with a badge in the centre. They've also gone back to the maroon colours on the sleeves and that. And anyone that knows Manchester City from a long time ago knows that Man City in maroon, it's always been a part of our kits, you know what I mean? Whether it be the away, whether it be the piping, whether it be full maroon, it's always been like that. But for anyone, Manchester City actually designed this kit with Colin Bell's family, and they've done a video on YouTube, and I watched it before, and I can't lie, I was crying my eyes out, mate. Colin Bell's grandkids were in the stadium. They blacked the stadium out. They put Colin Bell on, and then his wife was there, his son was there, and they brought the kit out. Mate, any Man City fan, watch that on City's YouTube channel today about Colin Bell and the kit. It will cry, you cry your eyes out. Honestly, Colin Bell, man. But have you not got the kit yet, have you, Imran?
No, not yet. I didn't get a chance to go down today. I'm normally there at the front of the queue. But
you were there.
Can you see that one there? That was a Aguero one I queued up for. Probably
they're going for 500 quid, them on eBay.
Yeah, sold. No, I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that, and I actually managed to get one for Daps.
Oh yeah, like that. To be honest, I would have got one, but I forgot. You text me, and I did see the message, but
Yeah.
I think I've got one anyway lined up. But yeah, Daps won't be wearing that. He'll be selling that on eBay. I know what he's like.
If that's the case, I'm holding on to it.
No, listen,
No, I think look,
have you seen that? Have you seen that Colin Bell thing?
yeah, I mean, look, that I've not seen the video. No, I've not seen that. I
Right.
will have a look at it at some point. But that kit, it does look nice, and I think with a lot of the look, if we go back and look at a lot of the kits that were released by Puma, initially it started off with negativity. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Not this particular one, but in previous seasons, oh, I don't like the home one, or I don't like the away one, and it was quite a bit of a pattern. But as the kits were being released, and the players were wearing them, they do end up looking quite good actually. And this probably was one of the first ones that are designed by Puma. A majority of the people love. We like the crest in the middle. The Puma just underneath it. It looks nice. It looks nice overall, and then the maroon color on the sleeves and on the neck definitely like adds the probably cherry on top for that top. So it looks good. I quite like it. I'm definitely going to get it. But as you said about the Haaland thing, so I'm probably going to wait now until.
Waiting, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting Haaland one. Yeah, I don't normally get kits with names at the back, but I bought into this whole hype train. I was on that hype train for Haaland, so yeah, I'm getting it definitely.
Do you know the last kit I bought with a name on the back was Robinho?
Right.
Because he was such an iconic signing for us. I was so gassed. I'll never forget that transfer deadline day when we signed Robinho. I didn't sleep, mate. I was up in the living room. I thought we were taking over the world. I thought all the bids were coming in. Berbatov, Mario Gomez, Robinho. Oh, I thought, yeah, this is Championship manager come to life, man. Man City are just doing it big time. So, yeah, that was crazy. But, yeah, the kits, these kits are all right. The third kit's a bit mad. I can't lie. The pictures I've seen of that, it looks a bit crazy. The second kit is obviously red and black stripes. Obviously, I think everyone remembers the 69 finals where we wore that. But then more recently, David Silva. People say, who comes to mind in the red and black kits? David Silva. We wore it in the IDOS days. Ayo Berkovic, Sean Goter, Mark Kennedy. So we have got a history in the black and white stripes. I think that they're actually diagonal, these ones now. They're not vertical.
And I think that's because of Puma having an agreement with AC Milan, isn't it? So they've got this. Obviously, the ones that are vertical. So obviously because of that, they've had to go on the diagonal ones. But yeah, that looks good. That kit looks actually really nice.
It's good, and like you said, there was plenty of people there buying it and stuff. So it was bang on. But yeah, so we've talked about the game coming up. I know we're meeting up. We're going to go into Manchester, aren't we? And we're going to have a float about and see what it is. But I can't lie, man. I was thinking about the season the other night. The overall season and the highs and the lows. Obviously, we used to going on these cup runs and stuff like that. The highs for me this season was obviously the game against Chelsea with De Bruyne at home. I think that knocked Chelsea right out of it then. All getting a point at Anfield when we don't usually do well when the fans are there. That was a highlight for me. And then the Manchester derby for me, obviously growing up in Manchester, the hatred between City and United is real, and always to get one over on them. You know what I mean? Coming up to it, United are going to end your title run. They're going to catch you on the counter attack. They always win at the Etihad and all that. They also start playing with your mind then, because then you start thinking, fucking hell, are they going to do it? But you know what? Dealt with them. And then we've had the great night in Atletico Madrid. You know what I mean? Followed by disappointment against Liverpool in the semi. Then we had the wonderful night at the Etihad against Madrid again. Crowd was fantastic. Then we bounced over to Madrid and got kicked in the teeth. We've had a couple of weeks now where we're on the roll again, and then it's all coming down to this. What games for you this season have stood out? What's the high of your season and the low?
look, it's been a trend over the last couple of seasons now where we start off very slow. A lot of it's to do with players coming back from internationals late, and obviously the way our season started, we were trying to make up ground from the first few games of the season. But I think for me, and I wasn't even meant to be at the Chelsea away game at Stamford Bridge, but I ended up being there, and I wasn't looking forward to like the Chelsea fans, especially after the final. But that one was definitely one that I savoured. I loved it. It was brilliant just watching these guys just stay quiet for majority of the game, whilst we just ran the show. Again, that was a game where if we had a finisher, we would have had more. We had more goals. But yeah, that's definitely up there. The Manchester United games, the two derbies, they were huge. I was hugely disappointed in the two Liverpool games, to be honest. Although we played a good half at Anfield, and we played majority of the two halves at Etihad. We played them very well. I was just massively disappointed coming out of those two games, having not got full 3 points. So that, as you said, you definitely put that as one of the highlights. But I think I'd have to say the opposite. I came out of it disappointed, to be honest. And then the Spurs away game the Spurs home game. That was a kick in the teeth. That was
hard to take, man. Hard to take.
That was, and I'm sure, was it another goal that was disallowed at some point in that game? Was there a Sterling one again? I can't remember now. But it was so disappointing. Yeah, I think those are the ones that probably stick out in terms of wins and losses. Obviously, the Champions League ones, definitely the Real Madrid home game has to be top of that list. I think the Atletico at home game was a really, the atmosphere was bouncing in that game.
Yeah.
And although there was only one goal between us, I think we played a really good game. We didn't create many chances, but when De Bruyne took that one really well. So, yeah, I think those are the highlights.
I just had to block someone then because he said, "Sorry, lads, Ederson out." Now, come on, for fuck's sake, man. I just blocked him. Probably a good guy, man, but I can't be doing with that kind of negative bullshit when we're going for the league title on Sunday. Ederson out? Are you mad? Ederson, Ederson out, Stefan in. They put Stefan in again in the semi and they went mad. Ederson's a massive part of Manchester City Football Club. Massive part. Everything that we do in the attack and the build-up is done by Ederson. The pressing on other teams gets undone by Ederson. Yeah? If you expect Ederson to be an elite-level goalkeeper, you're not looking at the game proper. He's a good goalkeeper, only good, but he's exceptional with his feet and finding players and getting us out of danger. And we've got to accept that he's not going to be top draw in the goalkeeping stakes, but he's a big integral part of what we do. So are you going to get mistakes from him? Yeah. Sometimes he's going to be out of position and a bit wild. Yeah. But you're also going to get 60, 70-yard assists. You're also going to get games where we're getting pressured and he can ping that ball in over the top. So nobody can call Ederson out, man. Nobody can.
Don't forget as well. Don't forget when our defenders are beaten, he comes out and sweeps the ball away. How many times has he come out and been the last man? Defenders being beaten and he comes running out. He's outside the box most of the time and he'll get it majority of the time. Yeah, obviously because of the way he plays, there is margin for errors because he really treads that line. But you can't call him out for that.
No, I just don't. Apparently, these people are saying, on Twitter, which is a platform I don't use. Everyone's calling out Ederson. That's bullshit. That's when you end up isolating this fan base and splitting it up by dickheads like that. And you're entitled to your opinion. You are, and I'm entitled to mine. And like I just said on the stream, 57 games this season. I've been to 51. And Ederson is nowhere near any of my lists for anyone getting any criticism. Ederson is a big part of what we do. He's on the verge of getting the Golden Gloves again. He's level with Alisson. So you can't be that bad. Somebody said he's going to. He makes mistakes in big games. What? Like when? When did he make mistakes in big games? He's also won us big games. People need to relax, man. We're not that club. You know, Ederson is part of what we're about. You know what I mean? He's been here a long time. We're winning trophies and that. Who else are you going to get better than Ederson out there? Tell me another goalkeeper other than Alisson that's there. But even Alisson's not great with his feet. Do you know what I mean? If Ederson was great at doing goalkeeping stuff, he'd be the best on the planet. But he's not. He's good with his feet, and Pep wants a goalkeeper like that. Otherwise, we'd have kept Joe Hart, innit? But mad, man. Mad. I can't believe that. Mad. Next will be Grealish. Then it'll be on to someone else. We're going to win the league, man. We've got to be positive, innit, and win the league on Sunday. We don't need this negative crap.
And that's the thing. You know, these players have done great stuff for us. And, you know, just based on a few occasions, you know, the disrespect isn't great, is it? You know, you have to, you know, look, disrespecting players after them being instrumental in winning us league titles, right, is massively a disrespect. And you don't deserve to be called a fan if you're going to disrespect them. All right, yeah, you can have your views. You can say that he's not the best keeper in the Premier League when it comes to shot stopping.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's fine. That's you know, that comment you can make. That's your own opinion. But to then disrespect a player is something else. So no, I don't agree with that.
So yeah, it's a mad one, man. But I just never get people. I try to be positive on this channel. I try to keep all the City fans on here. That's not to say I want. No one can criticise any City players on this channel. It's a free channel for Man City fans to say what they want. But all I'm saying is, come on, man. Here we go. Oh my God. See, this is what I'm up with. I've got a panda in a Dortmund shirt, man.
Haaland.
How you doing, mate? All right.
It's hot in here. It's hot in here, man.
It will be, man. You've got a panda suit on and a fucking flag wrapped around you.
State the obvious. That's what I love about Steve. He just states the obvious.
Isn't it, man? Say what it is. We say what we see on here, man. It's like catchphrase, isn't it? Say what you see.
I'm happy. The news today, man. I think it's lifted us all, right? The Walker and Stones news.
Yeah, 100%. We've just been talking about that, me and Imran, saying you got to be confident with it, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just takes it to another. Yeah, it takes it to another level. I think. You know what? And everyone's saying the Walker bit. I do agree with the Walker bit, but I don't want to downplay how good Stones has been this season as well.
No, he's been great.
He's come back from injuries and been good. So I don't know. It's giving me this extra confidence going into Sunday that that we're going to beat. I could see us scoring 3 or 4. I could see us scoring 3 or 4.
Yeah, well, we spoke about it, me and Imran. What's your thoughts going into it? Are you confident? I'm confident. I'm always confident. But are you confident? Are you thinking there's this Man City element there? Is that out your system? Or are you thinking,
it's not out my system. It's not out my system. It will never be out my system. It can't be out my system. I honestly don't think. I've said to people before, I can be nervous for games in August, September, because I don't know, unfortunately, it's just installed at me. And sometimes when I look at other fan bases and how confident their younger supporters are, I'm like, I envy your confidence. So sometimes I question it because I'm like, we should be the confident ones, like if we look at our last 10 years. But I was a lot more nervous until the Stones and Walker thing today. And the good thing is, when you think about it, it's Thursday today. We're not playing till Sunday as well. So it's not like they've joined training the day before. They've still probably got another 2 days of training. So I don't know, man. It's looking good. And it's put an extra bounce in my step, that's for sure.
Well, something we can all talk about. The player of the season this season at City, I think the 3 nominees was De Bruyne, Bernardo and Mahrez. For me, I think Mahrez will get it because the Algerian boys will just spam the fuck out of the channel and kill it. But what I'm saying is, I'll start with Imran. Your player of the season and why?
Does it have to be one of them 3?
No. I think you already mentioned Rodri should have been in it, but is Rodri your man?
Yeah, Rodri's my man, to be honest. I think he's had the best season, in my opinion. Yeah, he's been all over the pitch. He's been mopping up I mean, if you look at, I don't know if you've seen the stats. Just came out today around, some of the similar players for other clubs, and he's won the most duels. And I don't think Fabinho was even in that list in the top 5.
Well, that's mad as well, because that's more Fabinho's star play as well.
Yeah, exactly. This guy was leading it by quite a bit. I'll see if I can share that online later.
Did you not ever look at Rodri's stats when he was before he joined us? His stats when he was at Atletico, his stats were like insanely good. And I think he obviously did take that first season. First season, it's normal, but after that, he's just been unbelievable. Now, so you're saying Rodri?
Yeah. So let me just finish off.
Yeah. Sorry.
He's winning a lot of the balls at the back. That tackle he made on Fabinho right at the end against Liverpool, that was huge. And I mean, I think that definitely plays a huge part in this title race.
It does,
But
yeah.
Some of those goals he scored as well. Some of the screamers from outside the box. The goal, the goal right at the end against Arsenal.
True. That's a good point,
all these things, combined, I think Rodri definitely. I think for me,
do you know
and the passion as well from him. when he scores, the passion from
him. That's relevant.
The block at Anfield, the block at Anfield, the handball at Everton, the block at Anfield. The hand of Rod, I've told you.
I love the way you own it, man. I do love the way you own it.
If we win this league Sunday, next season,
when
I'm getting a banner, the hand of Rod, because that is burning them out, right? But at the end of the day, Rodri's been outstanding. The block at Anfield, I was right next to that. I was literally row 2. And if you'd have freeze frame time when Fabinho struck that, there's no way Rodri was getting that. So no way. I'd have put £1 million on it. It's in. And he got it. But he's been outstanding. And I think what he's done this season as well, he's added to his game. A lot of the times he used to always play it safe. So he'd always go side to side or backwards. So you'd zip the ball into him. And just to be safe, he'd zip it back to Ederson. We're going nowhere. What you'd see with Rodri now is you zip the ball into him. His first touch is a front touch. He gets it on his front foot. And he's driving with the ball, and that is why he's improved for me. And I agree with Imran. Rodri's hard done to in that player of the season.
Oh hell yeah, he should be in there, 100%. And I think the other thing is that I don't know if you lot have noticed, and you can't put it all down to Rodri, but I think he's a key part to it as well. Is how good in the air, and I don't mean going forward, defensively we are. Like, we used to be awful with crosses. All of a sudden, when people were throwing crosses in the box, we're so much better than the last few years. And I think Rodri's quite a tall guy, so I think that goes underrated as well. I agree. Rodri was my close one, but mine would be De Bruyne, and the reason is business end of the season. And I've had this conversation with a few people. Right, business end of the season for me should be worth more, because it's when everything's down. And I'll be honest with Cancelo, because Cancelo, some people put him there. The last 2 seasons, Cancelo's been a bit towards the end of the season.
Last 2 months.
And the last 2 years, last year as well, when it gets to that end. And then you look at De Bruyne this season, when it's got, if we talk about the Yaya season, 2013-14 was it, or was it 12-13, whichever one it was, that was when he came alive and won us the league. And I think this season, since the Crystal Palace game, I think De Bruyne has probably scored at least every other goal, every other game, as well as the assists he gets, as well as the tracking back. He's been the leader. But then I stopped and thought about it and started going back further than the last couple of months. And Man United away, he was good. Chelsea away, he was good. Liverpool away, he was good. And you can actually start, when people say, De Bruyne's only been good the last 4 or 5 months. He hasn't. He's been good all damn year. And I'll be honest, at first when I thought, Salah's got to have it wrapped up for player of the season. If you actually look at it, Salah until early January, Salah was on absolute fire. But since January, Salah has been nowhere to be seen, right?
Yeah, we touched on that a little bit before with him.
But then, if you look at
what about Bernardo? Bernardo beginning of the season was
agreed. But if you look just on the Salah thing, because obviously De Bruyne and Salah are in the actual player of the season for the whole Premier League, right? Salah's been quiet since January. We're now in May. So if people want to say De Bruyne's only been good since January, well,
yeah, I get
Salah's been quiet for 5 months, whereas De Bruyne's come alive. I think this year we've got some good ones. I think Bernardo has a shout. Cancelo has a shout. Rodri has, I think, behind De Bruyne, it would be Rodri for me. But that position's just such a hard one to win it with.
I went with De Bruyne for the same reason. I thought early in the season, he did okay. He was carrying a knock from the Euros. He was had the injections in his ankle. We knew he wasn't right. But he didn't moan about it. He got on. He was asked to do a job. But when the chips are down, like that Wolves game for me, to score 4 and drag us there, he was just unplayable that night.
Yeah.
The first half hat-trick, 24 minutes, all with your left foot.
When you're right-footed.
Like, wow, this guy's on something, mate.
Yeah.
And then, and that's what he's about. You know what I mean? Against United in the derby, we ran it. Chelsea at home gets us there. I mean, it's a tough one. It's going to divide opinion, but it's a tough one. But anyway, listen.
Whoever does it in that final game, whoever wins us that title, I'll be
Jack Grealish score. I'm telling you, I've told you all
season.
Do you think he's starting, Steve? Do you think Grealish will start?
I don't think he'll start, but I think he might come on near the end and do something.
Yeah, I'd love it to be like maybe 2-0, him come on and score just to, because for me, he shouldn't start. I don't think Pep would start him because obviously he's never been in a title race before. And that day is going to be emotional. I think to start him on that day with the emotions that's already going to be around and the way the Villa fans will be, I don't think Pep would do that to him, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But do you think it's a Pep thing do you think it's a Pep thing to then play him and say, look, I'm going to prove you why he should starts these games?
He does. Look, the one thing I would say with Pep, because I remember when he played Foden out of nowhere against Tottenham a few seasons ago and Foden scored the winner. The one thing is if Pep trusts you, he'll play you. So if Pep thinks that Grealish has been on smoke all week in training, we know he was good against West Ham last week, probably our best player. I think Pep might do it, but we'll see. We'll see. This is a good thing. I think something that's really important as well is the six days rest, because I think De Bruyne looked like, again, against West Ham, De Bruyne looked to me like he maybe needed a little bit of rest. So I think that 6 days or almost 7 days, to be fair, rest is going to do clearly if Walker and Stones are back. Do any of the games tonight have any influence in?
There's relegation battles, isn't there, everywhere?
Yeah, but is there anything that influences us in any sort? I mean, the Villa may be playing.
I think if Villa get, I don't know what the score is actually. Half an hour into it, but if Villa would beat Burnley, do you think they'd be happy just to sit back and?
I don't even think it matters. I just don't think it matters. No. I think we're giving them too much respect. We're the big dogs in town. We're top of the league.
Yeah, agreed. I think Pep will remind the players of that, innit? Pep will tell the players that as well.
Yeah, of course he will. Listen, it is what it is. Of course these teams can throw a spanner in the works, but it's not happening. We need to get it done, man. We need to get it done.
Do you know what, as well? The other thing I would say, when people say about Gerrard wants to do it for Liverpool and whatever else, I've had to remind a few Liverpool fans of how Gerrard actually wanted to leave Liverpool.
Yeah, so, listen, they're dreaming. They're in fairy tale land.
Yeah,
fairy tale land.
Yeah, they are. I think Gerrard is all about proving himself more than doing anything for Liverpool. So I don't think he's doing anything for them at all. I think that's got nothing to do with this game. This game is just last game of the season, and we have to do what we've done 5 times.
Well, listen, boys, we're coming to the end of the show. We know what we need to do Sunday. We're all going to be there. We're all going to link up. All the City fans, I've told you, get the flags out, the banners out, wind the neighbours out and all that. And at the end of the day, we can only leave it on one tune. Get the panda out. I'm not playing the full tune. I'll get copyrighted.
Oh yeah, you will. You're right, actually. Yeah.
But listen, that's been We Are the South Stand, episode 7. It's going to the wire. Last game of the season for Man City to win the league. 3 points is all we want. Everyone have a great day on Sunday. Get behind the boys, wherever you're watching it, whatever you're doing. Get them flags out, get them banners out. And listen, we keep on moving, man. We keep on moving. And at the end of the day, it's been a great season, a tiring season. I can't promise you there'll be much more Big Steve on YouTube. Big Six show next week or the week after will be my last. Tonight's Mank Talk is my last. Been a tough season, work, family commitments, some has to give. So at the end of the day, I've come on this YouTube thing. I've done 2 years solid defending this club. I like to think I've done a good job. I appreciate every single Man City supporter that comes up to me at the ground, supports me, thanks me for doing things. I don't do it for that. I just do it because I love this club, innit? But listen, let's get the title. Let's get the title. Go on.
On behalf of every single Man City fan, we have to thank you as well, because like me personally, but every single City fan, the goosebumps we have got from some of your speeches, the way you've shut down on some big channels, like it is. I'm in awe of you, bro. I'm in awe of you, honestly.
I appreciate
you know that.
And listen, let's get this title in the bag. Let's have a rest, and then we'll go again. But big up for everyone supporting us. Thanks, Daps. Imran, thanks for coming on tonight, mate. I know it's your first ever stream. You were solid. You've done really well, and I'm sure people love to have you on again. Big up, boys, and I'll speak to you soon. Up the Blues.